Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 1 of Beyond the Banter with me, Birchie. Today, my number one guest, is a phenom, quite possibly the greatest, most handsome, talented man to come from the Islands of Seychelles. Muffin Man, please stand up. Dom, how are you doing, my brother?
What an intro. Just for the distant viewers, like Birchie was a bit nervous coming in. I was just calm. Now he just blasted me with this intro. Now I'm nervous.
That just came off the dome.
What's up? Thank you for having me.
Dude, it's a
Glad that
pleasure.
you're pursuing this. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. For those that don't know, this has been kind of like a project in my mind for over a year now, I think, to do this podcast. Which is it's crazy that we're here.
We've been speaking about it, to be honest. So and finally it's coming. So
yeah. So like obviously being episode 1, there's nothing to sort of compare to on what we're going to get into. But I kind of just want people to get to know you a bit better. We'll dive into some deep conversations of like mental health and things like that. But also like we're just here for the laughs as well, you know. So why don't you start? For those that don't know, you're from Seychelles. A lot of people might not even know what Seychelles is. So tell us about it.
Okay, so I'll just give you a brief introduction. My name is Dominic, aka the Muffin Man. MuffinManPlzStandUp on all socials. I was a small streamer from the Islands of Seychelles. I've just taken a little break, focusing on some other things right now, but I'll be back. I used to be a streamer from Seychelles, and Seychelles is basically a small island off the east coast of Africa. So if you open up the map of the world, you can't see it. So you'll have to just go into the Indian Ocean. You'll have to zoom in 10,000 times, and you'll see the speck. And then you'll have to zoom in another 1,000 times, and then you'll see where I'm at. So
It's small.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. I'm from the island of Seychelles. It's a tropical island. We have a population of around 100,000 people. Very small. It's as chill as you can get. Yeah, it's really tiny. Which is pretty. If you think about it, pretty impressive as well. Thinking that there could be streamers from places like that. I'm one of the few streamers from Seychelles. So yeah.
I was gonna say, is there anyone else that like pursues content or anything, or anyone that's like kind of big, even outside of content, that's come from Seychelles, like athletes or?
We, in terms of content, we have a few artists. We have artists who were born in Seychelles and then they moved over to a different country and they pursued music there. We have a few other streamers. We have Carlos. I don't know if you know him. He's one of my good friends. He's actually in the UK right now. He's actually pursuing acting. So he's also a streamer. He streams Call of Duty.
Right.
There are a few of us, but it's a small country though. So
it's hard. It's gotta be hard, right?
Yeah, it was for me. It was tough, just to hit affiliate on Twitch was tough, just to build like a following and stuff. But then again, it's content creation in general is not easy, right?
No, not at all. We've all had our ups and downs of content, but like what is it like growing up in Seychelles? Like, I feel like a lot of people understand what growing up in like America or the UK. You kind of get references from movies and things like that. But
so growing up in the Seychelles is that's a very good question. So I'm 32 now. Yeah. So I've been around for quite a bit, but like growing up in Seychelles was pretty chill. It's an island. It's coconut trees and palm trees and all that stuff. It's beaches, it's waves, it's the sand, it's everything. Yeah.
It's the full stereotypical island.
It's a stereotypical island. Like we wear board shorts and slippers. Yeah, we wear board shorts and slippers everywhere we go. Yeah. And living here is great. You know, uh, we don't have like conflict with other countries. You know, we don't have earthquakes. We don't have volcanoes. We don't have none of that stuff. We're like
Mhm.
just south of the equator, so we're far away from everything. It's just like a
Yeah.
very quiet little island on its own, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like growing up here is it's been chilled, you know, but obviously being in the middle of the ocean comes with its limitations.
Yeah, I can
Um,
imagine.
but if you were to ask me, like, if I were to, would I change like my birthplace, or you know what I mean? Like, if would I change Seychelles for any other country? I wouldn't. You know,
I love that.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
What's that? What
Like
sort of
growing
like?
up.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, because I suppose
Hmm.
you get so many unique memories of things that like maybe
Yeah.
I could never actually experience growing up, or
Hmm.
someone in America, or like wherever you grow up, you kind of have this whole like identity of like this was like for me growing up in
Hmm.
England, it was like going down to the seaside where it's the beach is crappy and stony and like there's barely any
Hmm.
sand. The water's not clear, but it was just like
Hmm.
you hear the seagulls, you got the ice cream, your chips, like, and it's those kind of like nostalgic memories that you might not necessarily get in other
Hmm.
countries.
Hmm. Yeah. That is true. Um, but yeah, man, like Seychelles is incredible.
Yeah,
Um, like
I want to
to
visit
to
so
take
bad.
it might I tell you, you gotta come. You know, we've got a
Mm,
bed there if you want to stay at my place. You know,
for sure, you know
but
I'm holding
Seychelles
you
is
to that.
great. Yeah, Seychelles is great. You know, it's a little world of its own. It's a little island on its own. You know,
Mhm.
and it's like I said, it's peaceful. You know, it's very nice.
Yeah, yeah, because
Mm.
it's not just one island, is it? It's like multiple
Yeah. So
islands.
collectively we've got over 100 islands, but
Oof.
like I think there's only five which is populated, right? Like we've got three main islands,
Right.
and then we've got like a few other islands where people stay.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's that.
It's so cool because it's like that's I think to me that's like the beauty when you get into like content creation. It's like I had never even heard of Seychelles before meeting
Mm,
you. And it was like
mm,
to comprehend you could make friendships and relationships with people in countries you've
mhm,
never even heard of. Like to
mhm.
me is even after doing this for like 4 years now, on and off 4 years,
Has
like
it
it
been four
still blows my
years?
mind. Think so. I
I think
started
it's more, no?
2021 or 20
Oh
was it
shit.
2020? Was it 2020
Oh, is
or
it COVID,
2021?
no?
It was right after COVID, I think, just after the last lockdowns is when
Hmm.
I started streaming. It might have been like
Mm-hmm.
October 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that's a long time.
It is still
Obviously,
a
I was
long time, though.
taking breaks in them, but I can't. When did
Mm.
we? What year did we meet? I can't even remember.
Mm. Okay,
20 in
so
2021 or 22?
it has to be 2022 because
When
it
did you
was
start?
after. Uh, Man, I can't remember. Probably 2025 right now. So yeah,
Hmm.
probably 2022. I know I started in July on July the 26th. My first stream ever was July 26th, but I think it's 2022.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah, 'cause I
Huh?
think we discovered like I think we've met each other like relatively soon into your streaming career, right?
Mm. Well, as a matter of fact, um, we didn't basically meet. We met before I started streaming. So
Right.
um, before I was streaming, like I always wanted to do something in content.
Hmm.
I wanted to do like at some point everyone wants to be a YouTuber. At someone, you know what I mean.
Hmm.
But in Seychelles, we have this slight problem where the YouTube partner program is not uh, like there isn't a YouTube partner program
It's
in
not
Seychelles.
eligible.
Like
Yeah.
they're not eligible, right? So the next best thing, yeah, I saw. The next best thing was to be a streamer.
Mhm.
And obviously, I'm a gamer, so I play games regularly. And I said, "Oh, you know what? Why not give it a shot?" But before I did that, I kind of just looked around and I like followed a few people. The first person I actually followed was Sean88. Shout out to him. And then through Sean88,
I
I
love
met
Sean.
you. I met Carl, and then just me being me, I started. Do you know what time it is? And I just appeared in you guys' lives. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
and
how.
you just never left.
Yeah, I just never left, and I decided to pull the trigger and started streaming on the 26th. And I've been shown so much love from you and your community and everyone else's community. It's been amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like the friend, like I literally tweeted out yesterday, I think, or it's just like the best thing about content is the people you meet,
Mm,
and like the fact Sean's stopped streaming, he's now living in Kuwait, and it's like
mm,
it's so hard. Like I remember like the days we were playing pro clubs, like every other
yeah.
night, there would be like
Mm-hmm,
10 of us just
mm-hmm,
playing, or someone was streaming like every day. So there was
mm-hmm,
constant, like tight knit community.
mm-hmm,
And I think when you're in the game for so long as well, it's natural for people to like come together, and then you spread apart, and then you come back together, and you kind of like lose people along the way, but then you come back, and
mm,
that's I think that's what I've struggled with content wise, is that
mm.
it's you can't be best close friends with everyone all the time.
Yes.
Like you just
Mm-hmm,
physically cannot keep up with that many relationships in your head at once.
mm-hmm.
And
That is true.
that's what I struggled with when it comes to Twitch
Mm.
streaming. But I remember like I think we got like after a raid, it might have been after Cal's raid or after one of mine, you getting like your first hype train.
Oh yeah, that was insane.
Honestly, like one of the best memories I've ever had, like streaming or
Mm,
being on Twitch, was like seeing you just get bombarded with that love.
yeah, that was. Like you said, there's a lot of highs and lows in streaming. And
Mhm.
like, but to be honest, the moments that the highs have always outshone like the lows.
Yeah, massively.
I said earlier, like your community, Kyle's community, everyone's else who I've met around Louis, it's the journey has been incredible,
Mhm.
and not in a sense of success. Like a lot of people, like I'm just for the viewers listening. In what I'm speaking about is like the friends you make, like you were saying, like the people you meet throughout this
Mhm.
journey, like the connections, the doors that it opens for you to do things. At the end of the day, you don't like. It's not about whoever has the most views or
Mhm.
whoever has the most subscribers. At the end of the day, what made me happy streaming was connecting with new people, speaking with new people, meeting new people,
Yeah.
playing with friends, and all that. It's honestly, it's the best feeling ever.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't change it for it. No, I can't say that now. I have changed it for something else, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it does come, like say that the highs always outweigh the lows, but like
Hmm.
the lows can be like incredibly low sometimes, and it's like,
Mm.
was when you decided to step away, was that kind of weighing in your mind when it came to taking a step back, like to reshift your priorities to more real life things, like into your studies and whatnot?
Yeah. It was a tough decision.
Mm,
Um, but it was also a necessary decision, right?
yeah.
Because currently, where I was at that point in my life, I wasn't in a bad place or anything, um, but in the sense of like mentally, I felt like you know streaming was fun and everything, but I also have like a career outside of
Hmm.
streaming,
Yeah.
and I had felt like I had hit a roadblock, and that's one of the few negatives about living in Seychelles is that there are certain limitations, in terms of like career excellence. Like if you want to excel in your career, it's
Hmm.
limited. There are only a few places that you can safely say that if you go there, you have a chance of going up a ladder, or you have a chance of learning new things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And me, that I am, I can't sit still. And I had reached a point where I was too comfortable, and I wanted more, and Seychelles couldn't give me more. So I took the decision to sort of upgrade myself. So I started studying so that I could, in hopes that I could build a proper CV so that I could apply for jobs abroad. And with getting jobs abroad, then I can sort of climb up a ladder rather than just sitting still. So
Give
that's
yourself
where
more
I'm at right
opportunity.
now. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. Obviously, I miss streaming. Every Friday, Saturday, I was live, and I'd have the same old people coming in. It was the best feeling, but for me, I just had to step away from it and give like my 100%. And it's safe to say that I'm on the right track. Um, I've given myself a deadline, not like a hectic deadline, but I'm by a certain time of the year I should be done, and then we'll start working on, moving abroad.
Man return.
Yeah. Fun fact: I do stream every odd day, but
This is
it's
true.
not for long. This is not for long. And to be honest, I'm very rusty. But I will at some point return as the Muffin Man, or I might return as Dominic.
That would be cool.
Yeah, so there's
That would be
that.
really cool.
I don't want to say much about it, but hey,
Yeah, of course, of course.
you
No,
know.
that'd be really interesting. I think, like I said, feeling rusty, like it's amazing how much of a skill streaming actually is. I think I
Mhm,
took nearly a year out, I think, and then
mhm,
obviously leaving Twitch and then starting streaming on the YouTube channel, on the gaming channel.
mhm. But you're doing
Even just
great, by the way. You're
thank
killing
you,
it.
thank you.
You're doing it.
Feels weird playing just Minecraft.
Because like, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm not gonna hype you up or anything, but I'm telling you, to stream on YouTube is very difficult, and to
It
keep
really is.
viewers on YouTube is very difficult.
It
And
really is.
Baloo, have been killing it lately,
Baloo's
and
doing amazing.
yeah, you guys have been killing it lately. It's just an amazing. Like I saw you guys start off this project because it's like a Minecraft thing, right?
Mhm.
And I'm very impressed, and like, yeah, you got it, bro.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's been good. It's been hard because it's like you going from Twitch where it was kind of I was very Call of Duty based, and I know I would do like
Mm,
just chatting and other that, but the core was kind
mhm,
of COD.
mhm,
Then switching out the content to more of like a PG Minecraft feel, very
mhm,
very strange, and it's taken me a while to get the hang of. But like just getting used to like reading chat again, and
mm,
just I don't know, excuse me, moving into this new flat as well. Like my
mhm.
internet's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Maybe
Mm,
not quite Seychelles level of bad, but it's
mhm,
it's been challenging. But no, it's
mhm.
definitely trying to figure out. I mean, I feel like in 4 years of content, where I've done literally everything, like
You've done
cooking videos,
everything.
Minecraft, COD, podcast, like just
I'm gonna
chatting.
shameless plug. If you guys don't follow Birchie on his Birchie Vlogs video, please go follow him on his Birchie Vlogs because it's incredible. And please drop a comment and tell him to start posting more Birchie Vlogs, please. Tell him, like, say the Muffin Man sent you. That's a shameless plug from me. Thank you. Back to the podcast.
I am posting. I've actually just finishing up I call it a film. I like to think of
Mm-hmm.
myself as like a little British, not known Casey Neistat. So I'm calling them
Can I,
films rather than
can I
videos.
can I interrupt you again?
Go
Okay.
on.
For the viewers watching this, please go to his YouTube channel and watch the Insomnia. Was it the Insomnia? Or
Yes, yeah, the
He
insomnia ones.
watches him Insomnia vlog. If you like cinematography, go watch the Insomnia vlog
The
and go
insomnia
watch the
vlogs are
bit
great.
where he goes into the zombie gaming thing.
Oh, the immersive zombie experience.
The immersive
Oh
zombie.
my
So
god.
please go there and watch
That
that.
bit,
Drop a
that
like.
bit was
Drop a like.
class.
That's class. Incredible.
Every
Please go drop a comment.
every time I see a clip of that and I see fire, oh, that man is
Mm,
just the goat. Like,
yeah.
he is comedy gold on the camera.
Mm,
But my original point was that I've just finished up a film where it's kind of, I'm trying to concentrate on more, I think, on like, I'm trying to figure out where I fit in the content world,
mm-hmm,
right? I have no idea where I fit. And I think for
mm-hmm,
me, it's kind of just, I feel I've always been very open talking about mental health and how I'm feeling.
mm,
And if that can potentially inspire, help, motivate, pull someone out of a ditch, like,
mm-hmm,
then maybe that's where I'm best to be. So I'm kind of working on a film around
mm-hmm,
that about my journey of 2024. So that will
mm-hmm,
probably be out by the time this is released. So yeah, go
mm-hmm.
check that out. But
Yeah.
what I wanted to say about like mental health as well is like growing up in Seychelles or like living in Seychelles now, like what's like the mental health kind of like, is it taboo to talk about? Is it pretty like, is there places where you can go and get help? Like,
In Seychelles, um, when it comes to mental health, especially for men, there are campaigns for it,
mhm,
but there, I like, I don't like, don't quote me on this, but it doesn't feel like it's enough. You
right.
know, they throw the odd advert on the TV saying, mental health is important, etc., etc. And there are counselors and all that stuff, but you know how men are. We try to
Mhm.
resolve things on our own kind of thing. But
Yeah.
we don't really talk about it in a sense. But like, we don't actively go to someone and say, "Man, I'm struggling with my mental health," kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, it's not like uh, it's hard to explain, to be honest, but there are conversations. I have
Yeah.
conversations with friends. I've got best friends who, when I'm feeling at my lowest, or when I'm feeling like my anxiety, because I get a lot of anxiety, right? Like, my
Mhm.
anxiety, I acknowledge that some people have worse anxiety than I do, but anxiety is anxiety at the end of the day, right?
It's still
So
your anxiety is still
yeah,
valid.
so like, my anxiety is, I can worry out of the blue. It could be something present, it could be something that could happen in the future, and
Mhm.
sometimes the most fucked up ones is something I've done in the past, and it just pops up in my head, and I just sit there, and I start feeling heavy, and um, you know, it's just like, those uh, screens where there's like the DVD thing that just bounces
Yeah,
to each
yeah, yeah,
corner.
yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Mhm.
Like, my brain goes black, and then that thought just keeps bouncing in my head. That's how it
Oh,
feels like, and
yeah.
it becomes very stressful. But I've got friends who I can talk to, and
Mhm.
like, you're one of them. We've
That's good.
spoken about mental health quite a few times,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and if, like, sometimes you just need to be heard, and sometimes, because there's this thing I read, which said, "A problem written is a problem half solved." Right?
Mhm.
So, sometimes, like, the thoughts in your head and anxiety in your head isn't that bad. So, but you think it's bad. So when you speak to someone, it it's then that you realize, okay, maybe it's not that bad. You're just
Yeah.
overthinking it. That kind of stuff. Yeah. So mental health in Seychelles, like I said, there are campaigns about it, but I I don't partake in that. Um, like, I
Mhm.
think a majority of men don't. There are only a select few, but like, I can speak for myself. Whenever I'm feeling down, or whenever it's heavy, I speak to people.
Yeah.
So
That's good. That's
yeah,
almost like the hardest bit, I think. Like when it
yeah,
comes to talking about your mental health, like I say, especially as guys, I mean, I think we're both around that similar age where like around in our teens, like no one ever really spoke about it. It was always just the
Mm,
man up, toughen up, get over it, keep like
mm,
crack
yeah,
on. And it was like it's only in the last few years I feel like men have really been able to start coming out and speaking out about it without being judged.
yeah.
And
Not just that. Sorry to interrupt, but
no, no,
like growing up, you really didn't know what that meant, right? Like
no.
you know, uh, you're still a young guy. You're staying with your parents. You have a roof over your head. You don't have bills to pay. And I'm not saying that that's anxiety and stuff, but like you really didn't know what it meant. You really didn't know what it felt like.
Yeah.
But then, as you get older, you go through certain experiences which hit you, and then you start realizing, oh shit, is this what a bad man, like not bad mental, is this what anxiety feels like? Is this
Hmm.
what depression feels like? Like you're not really, like, when you're growing up, uh, I don't know, I'm just giving an example. You see a
Hmm.
fire, you touch it, and you get burned. You don't touch it again. But with
Yeah.
depression and anxiety, you don't have that luxury of knowing what it feels like. It just hits you. So
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's an interesting way of looking at it. Like that's a good
yeah.
analogy. I think yeah, like so when it comes to like we're saying, having people to talk to, I think is like the most fundamental important thing. Like having
Mhm,
that, even if, like I say, even if you just have that one friend, like we've spoken many times, just out of the
mhm,
blue, just have a little FaceTime or call or whatever, and like you say,
mhm.
problem written or even spoken, like it's a problem halved. And
Mhm.
I think if you don't have someone to talk to, or like if you don't at maybe just say at that time, no one's picking up your calls or whatever, what kind of things do you use to like cope with it? Like I know you're heavy into like your fitness and things like that.
Mm. Well, it's still January, so I'm still suffering from the festivities of
Oh
eating and stuff.
yeah.
But working out helps. Working out really helps.
Hmm.
Something else which helps more than working out is running. Running is I started running last year. I
Hmm.
haven't gone for a while now because obviously festivities and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I know when you're running, it's a whole other feeling as well. Speaking to someone is a good thing, but running as well is like it'll just clear your mind out of everything. It's as if you're burning away the anxiety.
Yeah. Because I suppose, can you
So
even
running,
concentrate on anything like when you're running? Can you even like really think about?
um,
You're kind of just concentrated on the run, I suppose, right? You
yeah. I mean,
or are
uh,
you
I'm
processing?
not. I mean, I'm not the best runner. That I'm not. What's his name? Mo Farah. I'm not Mo Farah. I
Yo,
know.
Mo.
Yeah. I run. I've got running shoes. I try to take it seriously, but when I'll like try and explain the feeling I get when I'm running.
Hmm.
It's like you're breathing, you're trying to keep up with your pace, you're trying to make sure like you can run at a certain speed for a certain distance, and just like the that whole process is like your brain, your whole body is in like this sort of trance where it's just trying to upgrade itself, or it's
Yeah.
just suffering or whatever. But when you're running, all your thoughts go away.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, I tried to explain it to you, and I probably
Hmm.
did a shit job trying to explain it to you, but
No, no, I get it.
I running is incredible. Like, if
Hmm.
you're having anxiety, just go for a run. Just get out of your house, put in your sneakers, go run this direction, and come back, and you'll be fine.
Hmm. Yeah, I wish I could talk from experience, but the most running I've done since I was a kid is running for a bus that I'm late for.
How about you
But
cycle, don't you?
yeah, yeah, my running is cycling. So, but literally
Mm,
everything you say and that you feel with running, cycling is for me. Where it's just you just go, you focus on your breath work, you're
Mhm.
You're trying to hit PBs, you're trying to improve, like say
Yeah.
upgrade yourself. And I think for
Mhm.
me, like I'll either listen to absolutely nothing when I'm
Mhm.
cycling and kind of just let my
To
brain
yourself.
just,
Yeah.
yeah. Or I'll just, you gotta have a playlist that you can just whack on
Mm.
whatever mood you're feeling in. But I would love to start running. There's actually something I spoke about or said to myself that I would like to start doing in 2025 is run. And
Mhm.
then in the second week of 2025, I've torn a ligament in my knee.
Oh yeah. It's just a
So
football injury. You'll be on the
yeah,
sidelines for a year. I'm joking.
I'm gonna be out for the rest of the season, man.
Yeah, I know this season.
My market value's dropped completely.
Yeah.
Speaking of, what's going on with Real Madrid at the moment?
Nothing. We just won our last game the day before yesterday.
Yeah, you
We're on
guys are
top of
playing.
the table.
You playing tonight?
Yeah,
The
Salzburg.
Champions League.
We're on top of the table of
Okay.
La Liga. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were third.
We're obviously out of the Copa de España, but that's just like a Mickey Mouse trophy. Don't really
Isn't that
want
like
that.
the equivalent of like English Community Shield, right? I think it's just you
Yeah,
take the cup winners, the
it's the
league
last one.
winners. Yeah.
No, it's so like in La Liga you've got La Liga,
Hmm.
the main La Liga, you've got the Copa del Rey, and then you've Copa España in that order. So
Right.
Copa de España is like the third trophy you can get, which
Hmm.
is not really a big deal. I'm just saying
Yeah.
this now because we lost. We're out of it. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
If you won it, it's the most
Uh,
important trophy of the season.
it is if we won it, it's the most like it's one of the best trophies in the world. But like
Yeah,
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 we're still in the Copa del Rey. We're still in La Liga, and we're
Hmm.
still in the Champions League. Um,
So
but to be
why Real
short,
Madrid?
we've just why Real Madrid?
Yeah, like have
Um,
any team? I get it's like one of the biggest teams in the world, if not the biggest team in the world, I suppose. But like as
okay,
a kid
let,
growing up in Seychelles, what pulls you to
let me give
Spain?
you let me give you a a muffin exclusive first, and whatever you want to say, a confession.
Oh,
So growing up, I supported one team. Like the first time I watched football, I watched that team for quite some time.
hmm.
Guess which team that was?
Chelsea.
No, bro. I'm gonna blow your mind. I'm gonna shock you, bro.
Just don't you dare say Tottenham. Go on, who is it?
No, never. Sheffield United. Remember the
No way.
first football game I still follow them to today, but I don't know like a lot of the
Is that
players
like
and
your
stuff
English
like that.
team? Is Sheffield United your English
It's
team?
Sheffield United is my English team. The Blades. So yeah,
The Blades.
yeah. So I started watching Sheffield United, and then as time went by, Florentino Perez took over Real Madrid and started building the Galacticos. And
Hmm.
then since then, you know, a team with all the best players in the world. Obviously, I'm going to support them. And then, you just become a Real Madrid supporter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they've definitely had a better chance of winning the Champions League than Sheffield have. So you probably made
Yeah,
the
yeah,
right decision there.
yeah. But the cool thing, there's something nice about like I don't want to come off like as an asshole or like a dick or anything, but it's something nice about supporting a team that doesn't have the pressure of winning a lot of stuff. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're just like a chill team, and
Hmm.
they're winning actually. Funny fact, they're actually winning
Yeah,
games and stuff. But yeah, but with Real Madrid, it's just stress all the time.
yeah. There's a constant pressure to win, isn't there? And I think,
Yeah, high
yeah, it's
standards.
yeah, yeah. I think weirdly enough, I like weird segue, but like I actually had therapy the other week, and
Mm,
apparently my main problem with myself is that I set myself for high standards like way too high. So like
mm,
I'm always constantly like moving the bar of trying to, and that's how
mm,
I keep getting upset or anxious or disappointed in myself, or that I've let
Mhm.
myself and people down, is
Mhm.
because I'm constantly like the standard's too high. So I need to stop
Mhm.
trying to act like Real Madrid and be more like Sheffield. And just go with the good
Mhm.
times.
Okay, hear me out. Yeah,
That's a
I
really
understand what
bad
you.
analogy.
I hear what you're saying, but hear me out, right? The good thing about being a Real Madrid supporter is it gets tough.
Hmm.
It really gets tough, and you still push the team, regardless of Mbappe. Every year, there's a reason we're called the comeback kings.
Hmm.
A lot of people look at us and they pressure us to win, and we do win.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I understand the setting the bar high. I have that
Hmm.
problem as well. My other problem is I'm self-aware that I have so much potential,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's what like gets me into the mood, like drops my mood is I know I have a lot of potential, but I'm not doing anything about it, you know?
Yeah.
And then that's when I pressure myself to, okay, let's go find that potential, you know?
Yeah.
That's something that I've come to terms with. I haven't come to terms with, but like I've acknowledged it. Like, look,
Yeah.
mate, you're still 32, but the sky's the limit for you. You just need to
100%.
take that step. You just need to take that step and keep going, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I
No.
understand what you mean.
Yeah, it's a
I
bad
feel it. I
analogy,
feel
but
it.
it had the right connotations to it. But
Mm,
yeah, I think that is like my biggest fear is I know I have this potential. It's here. I've
mhm,
seen glimpses of it when like at
mm,
the heights of like my Twitch streaming, like I just
mhm,
know that was only the start. So to then
mhm,
it's almost like getting halfway up the peak to then going all the way down to the bottom again. And it's like
mhm,
it can be so challenging. I think that's something
mhm,
that's not spoken about content enough. Content isn't just like this. It's not just
mm,
linear progression. It's you're up, down, down, down,
mhm,
down, up, down, up. And it's like constantly back and forth. And I think
mm,
I hit a real low pit and
mhm,
like not even ignored, like I stepped away from everything. And yeah, some people stop reaching out, but that's how content and Twitch is. If you're not there and you're not present, you're not relevant. And
mhm,
that's not just Twitch. That's not a dig or a go at anyone. That's just how
mhm,
content works. If you're not there and appearing, people are talking to a million other people, and
mhm,
it's hard to be caught up in. And there's very few people you can take away from that. Like you and
mhm,
I are both keeping contact regularly, Nick,
mhm,
Baloo, and so forth. And I think trying to get myself out of that pit of
mhm,
not blaming other people, not thinking, oh, so and so hasn't reached out to me. Like, oh, this is like, I got into a real toxic, bad mindset with myself last year.
mhm,
And I think the second half of it, I had come to terms, like I said, I acknowledged that it wasn't their fault.
mhm,
They've done nothing wrong. It's me. And I need to come to terms with, okay, you were here, but now you're down here. What are you going to do about it?
mhm,
And it was like only myself is going to get me out of that pit
mhm,
of, I don't know, loneliness or depression or crippling anxiety, feeling like paralyzed. Like,
mhm,
and you kind of have to strip everything back
mhm,
to, okay, what do I want? Where do I want to
mhm,
go? How do I activate
mhm,
this potential?
mhm,
And like the main thing is just start.
mhm,
You think how long I put this
mhm,
podcast off for?
mhm,
And it's like just for pure crippling anxiety of just feeling
mhm,
frozen and paralyzed of, oh, what if I
mhm.
fail? What if this doesn't work? Like,
Yeah.
sod it. You just have to
Mhm. Just do it.
just literally, yeah. Shia LaBeouf was right all
Yeah.
this time. Like,
Mhm,
you know, the
mhm.
Shia LaBeouf meme, just do
Yeah.
it.
Do it. Yeah.
Bro, it wasn't a meme this whole time. Like,
Yeah. But I'm gonna say something for you. Yeah.
hit me.
Um, I see the potential in you, and I keep
Mhm.
telling you every time we have this. Every time we have a conversation, I say,
No one tells
mate,
me more
I
than you
see
do.
it. I say you've got a lot of potential.
Mm.
Your vlogs are amazing. They're the best. Again, viewers, if you haven't seen his vlogs, go see his vlogs.
Stop.
He's got an amazing. Your vlogs are amazing.
Mm.
Your Minecraft gameplay is amazing. Your editing is amazing. Um, Everything is amazing, bro. I see a lot of potential in you, and I see like I don't know where you want to end up, but I feel
Neither do
like
I.
me personally, if you keep at where you're keep being constant, you're gonna
Mhm.
get so far. Like I know we had a conversation at one point where you wanted to be a content creator full time,
Mhm.
and I can see that. I obviously it's not going to be easy, sacrifices and all that, but I
Mhm.
believe that from my perspective, from watching you, I'm not saying this because you're my friend. I'm saying
Mhm.
this out of pure honesty and through the heart, and I'm just telling you, like, you have so much potential. Um, if you just stay constant, which you are doing now,
Yeah,
um,
consistency is the big thing.
you're yeah, you're gonna go very far. Like I proper
Appreciate that,
believe
man.
in you, brother.
I really, really do
Secondly,
appreciate that.
a smooth sea didn't make a good sailor. Doesn't make a good sailor. You know that quote?
Oh,
Yeah.
that is hard.
So
A
um,
smooth sea doesn't make a good
didn't make a
sailor.
good sailor. Yeah,
Ooh,
it's because like just to explain it, like if you're going
like
through rough
that.
seas, if you survive rough sea, that means you're a good sailor. But anyway,
Yeah.
as someone who's been in content as well, I understand the ups and downs with content creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's part of the game. You know,
Yeah.
there are there's going to be extreme highs, there's going to be extreme lows. You know, but that's like I said, part of the game. And and again, you're here recording a podcast with me, right? You're
We are.
you're filming Minecraft videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last year you took a year off, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
A low point. Before that, you were on Twitch doing everything. High point, right? You know
Mm-hmm.
where you're at right now? You're in that middle. You just keep
Yeah.
going, it's just gonna go up.
We're
At
we're
some
we're
point,
peaking, we're turning.
yeah, at some point, let's hope it doesn't, but at some point, like things happen, you're just gonna go down again. It's
Mm-hmm.
part of the game, it's part of the journey. Just
Peaks and
keep to it.
valleys.
It's a sacrifice, and like I said earlier, I believe in you, and I feel like just push it, man. Just keep going for it.
To the moon. I appreciate that, man. Seriously.
No worries,
Like,
man.
I don't think anyone gives me enough, like, as much love and appreciation and respect and belief more
Mm,
than you do. So, like, I really do appreciate you and our friendship
yeah,
and
no
like
worries, man.
everything.
And another thing, which is like you're like a brother to me, right? So I will tell you these things,
Likewise.
regardless if you were not a brother or not. I would some way or somehow tell you that you're doing great.
Hmm.
That's just the person I am. And I also feel like it's not like a duty, but you know, it's good to tell people when people are doing good. Just tell
Yeah.
them, like, man, it doesn't hurt to tell someone, like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of negativity going around when someone's at its lowest. That's when everyone wants to talk. No, 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 no. When someone's at the highest, no one wants to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
people talk about it, but you know what I mean. So celebrate. Like, tell the person. Tell, like, if someone is doing good, they're studying, they're passing, they're going through the fitness thing. You just tell them.
Give
Like, hey,
people
you're
their
doing a good job.
flowers. Give
Give
people
people
their
their flowers.
flowers. Yeah, for sure. I feel like that is not done enough
Yeah.
in content. I feel like people, like, say, will not necessarily ignore you, but like if
Mm,
you're a small milestone for someone. Getting Twitch affiliate, like give
Mhm.
them their flowers. Like that's a hard
Yeah,
graft to get there. Like
yeah.
it might
It
not
is.
seem big for a
It's
Twitch
very
partner with
difficult.
200 views, but it's hard. And
It's
it's like
to
I think
like to yeah, sorry, but like
no, no,
to
go.
get affiliate is very difficult. It's very,
Mm,
very difficult. And
yeah,
but like I guess like we're saying, just give people their flowers,
yeah,
And the support is there's a lot of like I don't want to dive into it and give it that energy, but there's a lot of jealousy when it comes to content creation as well.
yeah.
And we won't give jealousy the energy. We won't talk about it.
No,
But
no, no.
it's like that sometimes. So just be the brightness in someone's day, man. Like just
That's it. You
tell
have
them
no
maybe do it,
idea
man.
what just giving someone props or flowers
Yeah,
on a little achievement that they're proud of. You have no idea
yeah,
the positive impact that could have on
yeah,
their life for years down the line. Like you
yeah.
don't. I think so many people can like say can focus on the negatives and take that with you, and that's when it really like grinds you
Hmm.
down. But at the end of the day, in when I'm on my deathbed, I'm not going to be sitting there thinking of the bad times. I'm gonna be thinking of the
Hmm.
random, like,
Yeah,
people giving you your flowers, someone complimenting
yeah,
you, like,
yeah.
just
And not
little
just and not
things.
just not just like giving flowers. Like if you see someone actually making an effort to do something, just tell them like, bro, I see what you're doing, man. Keep it up, But
Yeah.
I mean, just that will like, okay, someone sees me, someone sees my potential. It's just say it to
Mhm.
someone. Like be
Yeah.
like I said, be the brightness in someone's day.
That's it. You gotta be the change you wanna see in the world.
Yeah, that's the like that's the perfect thing to say. Just be the change you want to
Mhm.
see in the world. Like you know.
Yeah. One of my good friends said that to me when I was working in a supermarket years ago. We were just on some, like, dirty 5 AM shift. We're just stocking
Mm-hmm.
shelves. It's pitch black outside. It's kind of not a fun job to be doing, but then friend Tom, like, who I'd met through work, and he'd walk in at 5 AM, bright as anything. Like, even if he had a shit day the day before, it was like personal life got him down. He'd come in and he would just put a smile on your face. He would always
Mm-hmm.
just he checks in on you. He's
Mm-hmm.
making if you're negative or feeling down about something, he'll put a positive spin on it, and then like he would
Mm-hmm.
constantly pulls you out of like any bad mood. And I think just surrounding yourself with more people like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when he told me that quote, like that stuck with me so hard.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, yeah, just be the change you want to see in the world.
It is, and it's you got to start somewhere. Why not start with you, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you got to give yourself love.
Mm-hmm.
I think giving yourself flowers, giving yourself
Mm-hmm.
props, not being so hard on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I mean, one thing that's helped me is, I mean, yeah, was it a few months ago you mentioned about starting journaling,
Mm-hmm.
and we got into the journaling side of things, like say writing things down, whether it's good or bad. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that is definitely one really good way of sort of learning about. Because do you ever sit there and you give yourself a list of things to do on your day off? I'm going to be productive. I'm going to do this, this, and this. I've got 10 jobs to do. I get 5 of them done. And I
Mm-hmm.
used to think, man, I'm so bad. I didn't even get all these jobs done. But then
Mm-hmm.
if you flip the mindset, think, damn, I got half of this done. Like I got a
Mm-hmm.
lot done. And if you give yourself more credit and break things down into just like, yeah, I did get this done. I was feeling crap, but I still got out. I went for my run. I had my cycle. I did my
Mm-hmm.
laundry. Like, you know what I mean? Like I did my meal prep. And then it's just be kinder to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like, yeah, I 100% agree. Like, I'm full on with you. I go through that to be honest. I go through that on a daily basis when I have a list. But
Hmm.
I'm an IT guy, so our lists are quite different, and the way I approach things is quite different. Like I prioritize and all that stuff. But
Hmm.
um, at the end of the day, if I manage to get like 80% of my stuff done, then I'm happy, right?
Yeah.
But another thing I have a problem is like I said, a problem written is a problem half solved. So whenever I'm in my head, I'm like, oh shit, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that. I just write it down, I put it into the list and stuff. And then when you end up following that to do list, it doesn't even take like 10 minutes to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so sometimes it's just write it down and do that. But this is
I read somewhere or heard like maybe like an Instagram reel or something in the day, and it's like if you've got a list of jobs to do on your day
Mhm.
off and like you're feeling like overwhelmed or whatnot, do the
Mhm.
hardest job first.
Mm.
Because you get that hardest job done first, everything else
Mhm.
on the list seems easy.
Mhm.
So it's like,
One technique I use. Do you know what a
go on,
Pomodoro is?
Pomodoro.
Pomo-
Is that
Pomodoro.
a hat or a dog?
No. So Pomodoro technique is you do everything in 25 minutes and then you take 5 minutes break.
Ah, yes, I do know this method.
It's like a timer thing, right?
Yeah.
So to like I kid you not, bro. I'm like I was bad at time management and all that.
Hmm.
But ever since I started I use the Pomodoro to study, and it helps me absorb things. Like I don't go full blown 2 hours studying. I just take it by little, right? But
Yeah.
doing things within like the 25 minutes. Sometimes like I was saying earlier, that sometimes you think the task is going to take you 2 hours, and you can actually do it within 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So like just a sharing what I do is like I use the Pomodoro technique. It's just like there's a timer, 25 minutes. You do the work,
Hmm.
and then usually it's 5 or 7 minutes. Take a break, then you're back again for 25 minutes
What do
and
you
keep
do
it.
in
It works.
that 5 minutes? Just like have a stretch or walk around or like
Um, so like I'm IT, right? So I'm always at the computer. So
yeah.
usually, it's I just switch to like a YouTube video for like 7 minutes because the timer is like a website which gives you a timer and it rings when it's
Okay.
7 minutes is off, right?
Right.
So I'm either I scroll through Instagram or socials or anything. You just take the mind off,
Yeah.
and the amount of time you get to like take a break is not long enough for you to uh, fall into like the whole social media trap, like getting
The doom
addicted.
scrolling.
Yeah, like the doom scrolling. Like it's just enough for you to like get that little bit of serotonin
Yeah.
and then get back to work. So
Yeah. It kind
that's
of just
that's just
breaks
like
the.
an advice for me. Like that's what I do.
No, I
Like I'm
like
just
that.
showing what I do.
No, I've heard that before. It's a very, very well researched and sort of spoken about
Mm,
method. Like
it is.
it's
It works.
proven.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it works. It
Hmm.
works for me. There have been, like I said, there have been tasks which I thought of like, fuck, I'm gonna take 2 hours on this shit. Sorry, I'm cursing, but yeah,
No,
it
you're
will take
fine.
2 hours on this, and I end up taking 15 minutes just to like for example, when I'm doing a proposal for work, right? Like,
Hmm.
I need to do this. It's gonna take me hours, and then I just do it in like 20 minutes. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
just puts a perspective on things in a weird way.
That's it. So like when you're saying you're doing your study and you took a step back from Twitch and content to focus on these studies to be able to get better opportunities, is that
Mm,
still the aim for you? Is that still the goal to, I mean, you mentioned about moving to Dubai at some point,
mm, yeah,
potentially.
yeah.
Like, is that the goal now for you?
So, I said earlier that one of the things that I do is acknowledging that I have potential, right?
You do.
And like in terms of my career in IT, the sky's the limit. There are so much different fields, right?
Yeah.
And here in Seychelles, again, don't quote me on this. This is how I see it. So if there are any Seychelles viewers, calm down. Calm down. It's just like for the majority, the highest role is an IT manager.
Hmm.
So I'm just going to explain to you the thought process of why I'm doing this, right? And the highest you can go to some is the IT manager, which I am right now. I'm an IT manager.
Yeah.
Like there are certain uh, organizations where you can deviate from being an IT manager and go to a department, like cybersecurity, programming, etc.
Right.
But then again, there you reach a limit. Once you
Mhm.
hit that limit, it's just like that for the next few years, right?
Yeah.
I always felt that I have more to give, more to learn, and like like there's so much out there that I can do, right?
Yeah.
So the idea came, um, thinking, okay, I don't want to be stuck here as an IT manager for the rest of my life. I want to go out there and push myself in a different field.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, Seychelles doesn't have that to offer. Like I feel like there's a lot of I'm limited in Seychelles.
Yeah.
Um, but obviously I'm lucky, right, to be in Seychelles. Like I
Mhm.
wouldn't change it for anything. But in terms of career progression, that's the right thing for me to do.
Yeah.
Because abroad there are so much opportunities. You never know. I might say like right now I'm doing IT. I might start working in IT and then deviate into another field. Like
It
I don't
can
know,
lead
like
into so many different areas.
exactly. So that's why I'm doing this.
Mhm.
As I said earlier, like I'm 32. I feel like I've got so much potential. I feel like Seychelles is limiting me. And I want to see how far I can go.
Yeah.
But in order to go out there, it's like a big boys world. In Seychelles, you can get away with not having certificates. You can get away with having a lot of experience and knowledge and all that stuff.
Mhm.
To work abroad, you need to have qualifications.
They
So
want to
that's
see
why
it written down, like.
they want to see it written out. Like I can tell them I can, like everything I'm studying for, I can do in
Mhm.
my own way. But like I wasn't taught this by a teacher or
Yeah.
lecturer or anything.
Just
I
with
don't
experience
because
over time, like,
yeah,
picked it up.
because technically, if you look at IT is all about adapting, right? So whenever something new comes out, you just learn how to use it. You
Right.
just don't really need to get a certificate. It's just.
Mhm.
But that's why I'm doing the certificate so that I gotta get a better chance of getting a job abroad.
Mhm.
And Dubai was one of them. Dubai, I thought about. There were a few locations I wanted to go. New Zealand was one of them. I wanted
New
to go at
Zealand is
the edge of.
beautiful, man.
Yeah, I wanted to go at the edge of the world,
You
far
what
away from
Seychelles
everyone.
isn't secluded enough for me. I want to go to
Yeah,
even
yeah.
more secluded than Seychelles.
And yeah, I wanted to try my luck abroad.
Do it, man.
And I'm just ready.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy because right now where I'm at, I'm very comfortable.
Mhm.
Uh, and I know if I go abroad, I won't start at level one, which I'm prepared
Yeah.
to do. But
It's a
just staying
scary
abroad,
jump.
it's a scary jump, but it's something I want to do.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm 32. I don't want to be stuck here for the rest of my life doing the same shit every day.
Yeah.
I can't sit still.
The
So
world's too big to be secluded to an island of 100,000
mm,
people for your entire
yeah, yeah,
life.
yeah. But like, don't get me wrong. I love Seychelles. I wouldn't change it for anything. But for this, it has to be done.
Yeah.
And I haven't studied in a long, long time. So studying for me needs a lot
Mhm.
of attention. You know.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to take a break from streaming. Um,
Yeah.
so that's what I've been doing for the last 3 months, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like that, setting those priorities for yourself is so important. I think you can take a step back from Twitch for a few months to
Hmm.
progress to a life that you dream of and that you want.
Yeah.
And once you've passed your qualifications and you're in Dubai and you're earning what it is you want to be earning through a job or career, then you've got yourself into a position to feel ready to come back to content or to streaming,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
your ceiling's not here, it's way up
Hmm.
here now. Like your sky's the limit.
Yeah. You see, um, you know, I I don't like. People keep telling me like, bro, don't tell people what you want to do. But
Mhm.
like a lot of people know I want to move out, so it's not new news, right? But in terms of content creation, when it comes when I'm settled over there and I feel comfortable,
Mhm.
I don't know how long it will take, but like I said earlier, either the Muffin Man will come back or you just
Mhm.
see Dominic come in. So
Yeah.
you never know.
I think bringing like the Muffin Man persona is fantastic. Like it's great,
Mhm.
but I do think there is something so enjoyable about that personal aspect of having Dominic.
Mhm.
You know, like I think there's a shift and a change in content now where people are obviously there's still the brain rot stuff, but people
Mhm.
want to know personalities. People want to know, like, people want real, and people always end up figuring out what's real and what's not. So if you're just being authentic and yourself, I think people are drawn to that.
Mhm. Which is it's just funny though, but like what you see in the Muffin Man is what you see in Dominic as well. Except
Yeah.
Muffin Man's a gamer.
Hmm.
He's I'm a like just the gamer aspect of it.
Yeah.
And a lot of like everyone who follows the Muffin Man knows him as the
Yeah.
gamer who enjoys like the Detroit Become Human, the gamer who likes playing the puzzle games, the gamer who plays Fortnite, etc.,
Hmm.
etc. But that's like the gamer side of me as a human being. So that's the Muffin Man.
Yeah.
Whereas Dominic I've got so many other interests. Like I do photography. Photography
Hmm.
was I was a photographer for so long. I was a photographer.
Yeah.
I'm a tech guy. Like I like technology, And as a matter of fact, people have seen glimpse of through my Muffin Man profile that I'm also a car guy. So I like
Hmm.
cars. So, you know, like I'm not sure. I haven't planned that far, but I know that when I get to that point, these things will become into play. So you'll not just see Muffin Man as a gamer, but you'll
Hmm.
see Dominic as a whole.
Yeah.
Muffin Man is just like a branch of who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now
It's
you're gonna
one
see
of you.
like,
I think you, like, honestly, like you said, your potential is so high. Like when you look at your creativity in the photography, like you have
mm,
such a good eye for detail and beauty,
mm,
and just you can. It's so easy. Well, not, it's not easy. It's challenging, but it's easy for you to capture this like
mm,
beauty, and like how you say, like, I get these cinematics in like vlog format and stuff like that. You do the
mm,
exact same thing in still photography. Like
mm.
where, like, did you train in that? Does it come naturally? Like, where did you get into like the photography side of things? Because I've seen your Instagram page and it is phenomenal. It's so satisfying.
So, like, do you want the origin story or do you want like
Yeah,
a?
do it. Send it.
All right. So a few, maybe 12 years back, my first job, I used to work as a vessel monitoring technician. So basically, what I would do is install like those little beacons on top of boats, so that basically they get picked up by the radar and all that stuff, right?
Ah, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So back then, Facebook was just Facebook. They didn't have pages or groups or anything, right?
Hmm.
And then they opened Facebook opened groups.
Hmm.
So there was the first group in Seychelles was this group called ClickArt,
Right.
which had which people would just post random photos they took, right?
Hmm.
So at that time, my boss was also a DJ, and it was just I'm not joking. This is like a real story. So I started getting an interest in DJing as well because he was a DJ. He was one of the best DJs in Seychelles. Arguably, still one of the
One
best
of three
DJs.
DJs on Seychelles Island.
We've got a few, mate. We've got a lot of DJs now, and like people are like the young guys.
Mm-hmm.
The young guys are just ripping like if I start DJing now, it will take me 5 years to get to where these guys are. Like I'm telling you, guys are younger,
Jeez.
like probably 17 years old. They're just killing
Oh,
it, man. Anyways,
damn.
back to the story. So this guy, he started showing me how to DJ and stuff. And at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, I was in click art and I started taking pictures. And at that point, I had to make a decision. Dominic, do you want to be a DJ or do you want to be a photographer?
Yeah.
So I looked at the uh, like I don't remember how I based my decision, but then I initially took photography. Now I've always had the urge to be different, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember back then we had cable TV and there was this thing called fashion TV. So at every time, at certain points during the day, there was this segment called F photographers, and it would show photographers taking pictures of models and stuff like that. And I thought that was pretty cool. And during that click art era, not many people were taking pictures of people, right? And like models, like proper fashion photography and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I pioneered it or anything. Like there were photographers who were doing it, but when I started doing it, this is when I started getting attention. You know, I started taking pictures on like a crappy camera, and then people, and like I'm telling you, like the editing was bad. Like contrast was all over the place. The temperature was all over the place. It was horrible, right?
Yeah.
And from there, yeah, but people still liked it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, you know, I just kept getting better. And I got to a point where my mentality's changed. I don't know if the mentality is the correct word, but like I feel that's when I clicked and became an artist.
Right.
Where
You felt a
you're,
shift.
I felt a shift where I'm gonna try as best as possible to describe it to you so that you can understand how I felt when I was taking pictures. So some people would come and just take pictures and go. Whereas me, when I'm looking through that hole,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to compose something. You know?
Yeah.
Like someone who paints pictures, someone who's I try to compose something, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I'm not just and my specialty was portraits, so like I did a lot of modeling shoots and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and I would always try to compose something. I would look at the model, I would look around the model, I would, you know, it's just like try and build something, you know,
Yeah.
and like it's just, you know, after a while you develop like a sense of taste of what you like, what your
Like a
style is and
style.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then like with over time you start building like a repertoire. You know, I started shooting with some magazines. Not a lot, but I did magazines. I
Mm-hmm.
did a lot of photo shoots. A lot of people knew me. Just the other, I stopped now, just because I felt I got bored because I did everything that has to be done with photography.
Right.
And just the other day, um, because I was so it's I didn't know this, but a lot of people know me as the photographer, but a lot of
No
people
way.
don't know, but don't a lot of people don't know me as a photographer. Just the other day at my job, like my colleagues, they sit next to me, like two girls, like two ladies. We were having a conversation about a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they just mentioned, like, yeah, they did a photo shoot with because back then I went under the Instagram name as Lord Elizabeth,
Right.
and then it switched to Dom.Elise. And
Yeah.
they were like, yeah, she did a photo shoot with Lord Elizabeth, and da, da, da. And I'm just sitting there like, and I'm just
That's
like,
me.
that's me. And then they're like, what? That's you? I'm like, yeah,
No
that's me.
way.
Like, no way. We've been sitting next to a photographer all this time. It's
No
just,
way. That's
yeah,
crazy. So
it's
it's like they're
crazy,
like
bro.
hyping this
Yeah,
person up
just,
when they're sat
yeah,
next to the
next to him.
person.
Yeah, it's like honestly, it's I don't know why I said that, but it's just like a funny story. But
That's
like,
such a good story.
yeah, so uh, I did everything. I became a photographer. I became I don't know. I felt my style was pretty good. There were a lot of people around who had their own style. Like I came up, like I wasn't the only photographer during my time. Well, there are at least 10 other photographers who I could say are better than me. But my style always stood out because I always like try to push the boundary, or always try
Yeah.
to tell a story. Rather than trying to do like the commercial way. Like I'm not the guy who's going to try and sell you the bikini or the model kind of thing. Because obviously I'm giving you this example because obviously we're on an island, so like majority of our photo shoots would be bikini photo shoots, right?
Right.
So there is like I like to call it commercial photography, where you look at the photo, it's a paid photo shoot. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like it's just visually, someone paid the photographer to take them pictures. No, I'm
Yeah.
not like that. I'm coming here. I'm trying to make like Picasso
You're
out of
creating
a picture.
art.
I'm just
You're not
creating art.
selling. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's how I feel. That's how
Hmm.
I felt about me being a photographer. That's how I feel that helped me stand out.
Yeah.
But after a while, I did everything, and there was not much to do. I did everything, man. Like from nude photo shoots to magazines to all that stuff. Yeah, it's not that fun, to be honest. And nude photo shoots, it's not as fun as people think. But
Does it
we
get
won't
like
dive
kind
into
of
that.
repetitive? Like, does like the
Yeah, it gets repetitive, and you know, I I became an artist. Like now at a certain point. I would only take pictures when I was in the mood to take pictures. Like when I wake up and I'm like, I want to
yeah,
create
yeah,
this, make some phone calls. I want to try this today. And then we go
yeah.
out and do that.
Hmm.
But then, I got tired of it. I got bored. I mean, I still have the skill. I
Yeah.
still have the skill for it. And it's something that I will never forget. And that's why when I say I don't know what I have planned after Dubai, if I like
When?
God's grace, if I get to when I get to Dubai. But I know that also will come back into play. I mean, I might not do the
Yeah.
portrait thing, but I know I have the skill to at least do something in content creation.
Like
So
sometimes
that'll be
like a
that.
change of scenery can like be.
Mm,
You think you start, say you're in Dubai and you start seeing all these buildings with the sand and the backdrop of the ocean.
mm,
You get a whole new surrounding, and you kind of gets the
mm,
creative juices flowing again. You think, oh, I
mm,
could capture that. Like, I bet, like,
yeah.
I mean, as like a videographer and things like that, I'm sure it's very similar in photography when you're looking around, just your
Mm-hmm,
day to day life. You're seeing things, and you're kind of seeing the frames and the shots, and you're kind of picturing
mm-hmm.
everything in your head. Like, I don't know, you're seeing angles, shapes,
It's
depth
yeah, it's
perception. Like,
it's it's a hard thing. Like, anyways, you would understand because you do film, like videography, right?
mhm.
It's like you would explain it to someone, but I only wish someone would experience how it happens. Like to get that photo, what went through my mind.
Yeah,
I speak a lot, but sometimes I'm not the best at explaining things, especially when it comes to like weird thoughts, like thoughts that see, it's even explaining it to you is quite difficult. Like there are you can't sometimes there are skills that you can't explain. So that's
mhm.
how it feels like. I just wish people would like experience, like for example, experience your creative process and my creative
Yeah,
process.
yeah, yeah. Because sometimes it's like people will be like, "Oh, how do you think of that? How do you see that?" And it's
Yeah,
in my head, I'm just like, I just do.
yeah, just
Yeah,
do,
like I think it just comes natural to a lot of people. I think if you're naturally a creative person,
Mm,
I think I feel so blessed in a way that I am just naturally creative, and not even like content creation, just in general, like my brain is just constantly making myself laugh or thinking of weird stuff
Mhm,
or like wearing bright clothes. Like I'm just naturally
mhm,
creative, and then it's hard for me to think like some people just don't have that. Some people
mhm,
just wake up and they have their toast for breakfast and their same coffee and their same like, and it's
mhm.
monogamous of just black and white life of just existing. And there's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that. So, like a lot of people are happy with that and they're fine with that, and then that's great. But like in my head, I just can't fathom
Mm.
that. If does that make sense? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it makes like I understand, and it's it's I don't like to think about it because I like to stay in my own lane. And
yeah,
like
yeah.
if you tell people that, they could get upset.
Yes, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm
it's
not
like
slating that. There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, people will get upset. Like you realize, like, what are you doing with your life? You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And
Hmm.
it's like, what do you mean? You totally do that? Like, um, that's where that's where like we said earlier, sometimes you see people sitting down and they're not doing anything, and you just like it's like questionable and stuff. That's where, like I said earlier, you see potential in someone, but they're not doing it. That's where you come in. Just like you're just giving them a hey,
Hmm.
bro, you still doing videography, man. Your videos are pretty good, man. I think you should go back into it. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, that's why like be the change you want to see in the world. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
like
for sure.
if like you want a lot of people to succeed, not just
Hmm.
you. So you be part of the success, like help people out as well.
For sure. You don't like. Why would
Like
you want to climb the mountain on your own when you could take everyone with you? Like that's
yeah, I
you
mean,
want to see other
yeah,
people climbing the mountains. You want to see other people
yeah,
winning.
yeah. You want to see other people winning, and it's just a good deed. You're helping out people. Sometimes people, like we're talking about mental health. Sometimes people you will sit down and you'll see these other guys that they're just not doing anything. You don't know what's going on with their life. They could be depressed. They could be all that shit, right? You just one little hype can start something beautiful for them. And then
Mhm.
they succeed, and if they're humble enough, they'll come back and say, hey, you know what? I got there because of you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm doing that for that recognition, but it's just
No,
like
no,
just help people. You know,
for sure.
it doesn't
I
it, it doesn't cost a lot to just tell someone, hey, I see you
costs
doing good
nothing.
work.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's taking 30 seconds out of your day for someone else can
Mm-hmm.
have a lasting effect on someone for
Hmm.
weeks, months, years in a positive
Hmm.
light.
Hmm.
Like, I think I saw like a Instagram reel the other day, and it was like there's people. It was a long list of things, but the one that stuck out for me is like there's people out there that you don't talk to anymore, that's still
Hmm.
telling the same joke you told them years ago. They're still reminiscing on the
Yeah,
story you guys had
yeah.
together, or they're still like, even
Mm.
if you haven't
I'm that
spoke,
people.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, and that like hit me. It's like, damn, like you have more of an effect on people than you realize.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
That's
make it
yeah,
good, make it positive.
yeah, yeah. I'll just to add on to that, um, sometimes a lot of people like there'll be Instagram posts where people will tell you to be selfish with yourself, work with yourself and everything like blah, 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 right?
Hmm.
Um, I agree to a certain extent, but s- you know, helping others also is a good thing. You
Yeah.
know, it also builds character for yourself as well. You know, spreading positivity, like, okay, hear me out, Bertie, right?
Hmm.
So sometimes when you're feeling low, right, and you you want to get something, but you're lazy, but you're feeling down and stuff, it's hard to get that positivity, right?
Hmm.
It's very hard, right?
Yeah.
So one thing, I see it like this, right? When I give out positivity, not giving out, but like when I motivate someone, when I help someone, or like just tell them you should do it, kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
in an odd reaction kind of way, it's also helping me because then I kind of feel positive, and then
Yeah.
that all that positivity, and then I start doing shit as well. It helps as well. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's
Definitely.
the reason why it's always good to like if someone's. I mean, obviously, if someone's tried, I don't know, like tried to kill your parents or something, then you don't motivate that person. But like, what I mean. But like, there
Yeah.
are as much as possible help other
Yeah.
people.
No, I totally agree. I think it's one of the best things we can do is to help each other. I think that's what we're here for. Like as humans,
Hmm.
we're here to help each other through good times, through bad times. And
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's something I've learned, especially getting into content wise, is that like we said earlier, like I just want to see people win.
Mm.
I just want to see people like even if it's their smallest goal or the biggest goal or
Mm.
whatever, like if it's important to them, I want to see you do it. I want to see you achieve it. I want to see you go for it. Like
Hmm.
I think, like you say, the way you push me and just you're really good at that videography stuff. You're still doing it, like just trying to
Mm.
keep encouraging people.
Mm.
And I think,
You know,
like I said,
and
sorry, go on.
another like insight about it, right,
Hmm.
is like it's not really a competition. You
Nope.
know what I mean?
Only with
You
yourself.
know, it's only with yourself, and there's plenty for everyone. You know, there are X billion amount of people in the world,
Hmm.
right? And there are more than 100 million people who do content creation. You know, so it's like you can't really compete with anyone. So it's
No.
just you know, but you can also help each other out. You know,
Yeah.
and you need to just be patient. Your time will come.
Hmm.
Ups and downs and all that stuff. You know?
There's
That's
enough
why.
for
That's why.
everyone to eat.
Yeah. That's why. I think you're like I'm. This podcast should be renamed like me hyping Birchie up all the time. But like that's why I feel like like the podcast won't make numbers the first month. Probably
Hmm.
will. If it does, it's probably because I'm in it. Joking.
He's
Joking.
humble.
But like um I know you're a patient guy, and I know that that time will come. Maybe
Yeah.
not tomorrow, maybe not next month, but your time will come. Just press through it.
But who knows, man? Like I think when I first started content, like everyone, you all focus on the numbers. You think like, oh
Mm.
man, like I had 3 viewers today, I had 7 viewers, but I had 10 last week. Like, and you get into your head, and then once, I mean, I turned viewership off very early on into it. Like one of the first bits of advice you get, don't look at your viewer
Mm.
numbers. Like,
Mm.
and I like to think I got very good at that. And then I switched to YouTube and I got bad at it again. And then I kind of got good at it. That it's like, I'm creating something that I want to create. I'm putting it
Mm.
out there. What will be, will be. And I
Mm.
think with the podcast, I want it, like I said, because I want it to be about supporting people, helping each other, and
Mm.
hearing stories. Like I just want to talk to people again. Last year I barely talked to anyone. I talked to
Mm.
you, Nick, Baloo, Kyle on a
Mm.
regular basis, 4 people on a regular basis for an entire year.
Mm.
And I just want to talk to people again. I want to get to know their stories. I want to learn about them, hear about their
Mm.
wins, see them winning.
Mm.
And I think for me, to define success with this podcast isn't numerical. There's not a
Mm.
numbers thing. It's if it can help one person, if
Mm.
it helps one person realize something, have a perception change or like an ideology change, or something that can help
Mhm.
them in a positive way, take something positive from this, then that's success to
Mhm.
me.
Mm.
And I enjoy doing it. and that's success to me. And that's what this podcast would be. If it goes crazy big, it goes crazy big. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. If we're just here to
it will.
Look, man.
You know what would be better?
Go on.
Berchie vlogs.
They're coming.
They're coming.
Honestly, this film that will be out already. Like, I was editing it last night, and it genuinely got me emotional. And I think that's what I want from the Birchie vlogs. I want to fall on emotion and storytelling, and yeah. So there's more coming. There's more coming. I'm not going to say there'll be loads, but there will be some coming. I'm already working on the Greece one from like nearly 2 years ago.
I wasn't gonna say anything, and I was like, we still got the Greece one.
I went to Greece in May of 2023, and I vlogged the whole thing. We met Nick, and I still haven't posted it. I was flicking through footage the other day, and it's gonna be a good one. But Dom, I think we should. It's a good place to wrap up there, my friend. What I wanted to do with every guest at the end of each episode is ask them to leave one piece of advice or a quote for everyone listening. Could be anything you want. You dropped an absolute dime earlier, but if you want to rock with the sailor, you can do. If you've got another one in the bank, I want to hear it.
To be fair, I've been spitting out a lot of motivational shit the whole
you
podcast.
You have. That's good. That's what we want it to be, though. Like,
so, well, I'd stick to the sailor one. A smooth sea doesn't make a good sailor. Only because it means a lot of things. It means nothing. Like, if you can get through like the hardship, then you're just strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bottled that one, but just watch the YouTube. Just watch the YouTube video. Then watch the whole podcast.
Yeah.
And just pick one of the things I said and go with it.
But a smooth sea doesn't make a good sailor.
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I think if it's a rough sea, there's lessons to be learned, there's hardships, and if we don't go through hardships in life, who are we? Because it's what shapes us and what makes us who we are.
That's bad.
I think that's a good one, Dom.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much, man. I really, really appreciate you.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Do you have anything to plug? Do you want to
plug
Instagram? Do you want to?
So, for everyone watching, please go visit my YouTube channel, Berchie Vlogs.
God's sake.
Berchie Vlogs. Go watch that. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Berchie with 3 Ys _. I also sometimes stream Minecraft on Berchie Games, so go do that. But Berchie, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, man. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a bit crazy, we've been a bit all over the place, but this is episode 1, so yeah.
I'm grateful. I'm super grateful for you, man. You're a friend and a brother, and I have a lot of love for you, my friend.
Likewise, brother. And this is going to be like, I'm thrilled to be part of this part of the journey.
Me too.
Can't wait to see what you come up with.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. All right. Goodbye, everybody.